Hey, how you doing? Thursday, 25th of September, Imran Web Squadron, live chat, we're here again. Are you currently at that stage in your life where you're kind of feeling quite settled with what you're doing, but there is something else you would love to achieve, but either something is in the way or you haven't got the guts to do it? And I don't mean about starting a new career or a career change, but something in your lifestyle where you're not fulfilled completely and you wish you could do something with your life. It could be financial, it could be spiritual, it could be relationships, it could be some goals or something you really want to achieve, but you're just not there yet. And is it because you something's holding you back? Again, it could be financial, it could be your relationships, could be your work or your lifestyle, could even be your health. But something is just holding you back. And I'll share a bit about what mine are. I mean, mine aren't anything groundbreaking, but I sometimes wish I could just move away. When I say move away, I mean just move away to somewhere like the countryside and be away from people. Sounds really harsh. I like to mix with people, but sometimes I would love it if, like, I could just walk out into the front garden or the back garden and just relax or talk or record a video or something. Believe me, right? Where I live is a really quiet, lovely cul-de-sac area. It's really nice. But if I was to go out and start recording a video or something, or just sit out there, you're going to get interrupted by neighbors or people wondering what the heck you're up to. And in the back garden, I could go out and record a video or sit, but there's like, we're not really overlooked. You know, one side of the garden is, but the other, a bit on the back side and that side, we're not overlooked at all, which is really nice and private. But everyone is within listening distance of each other. And I'd love it if I sometimes was living somewhere else where I was in complete privacy almost. I would love that. You know, like countryside, like Lake District, Peak District in the UK, where you got valleys and mountains. Wouldn't you love it if you could just like open your window or step outside with a Pepsi Max, or maybe you drink coffee or something, and there's just like flowing mountains, and somewhere in the distance is a river, you know, and you can see the odd deer or animal or Bigfoot, something in the distance, and you just wanted to go for a walk. Because right now, if you go for a walk where I am, you go for a walk and you're kind of just walking in and out of streets until you get to the main center of the village. And then you go past loads of shops and you might see someone you know or don't know. And you go, hey, hi. You pass each other, whatever. You buy things or you drive down or you walk down and you get home. Hey, Tarakangas, hey, Webrizer. But are you ever in that situation where sometimes there's something you want to achieve? You want to make a change in your life, but something holds you back. And for me, the reason why I haven't moved to maybe a more like really like secluded countryside location, surrounded by mountains and rivers and mist in the morning, you know, that mist in the morning as the sun is rising and everything, um, is because of my wife, obviously. She needs to get to work. My son needs to get to school. We can't be too far away from family members, even though I don't really visit a lot of family members, but we can't be too far for convenience reasons. But yeah. And of course, though, if I ever did move to like secluded countryside, it better have minimum 1 gig download broadband internet speed. Can you imagine if you find the most amazing secluded countryside location and then you find out the internet is like 56K modem, ASDL or whatever it was back then, ADL, ASDL, 56K modem. I mean, my God, you know, like that was an excruciating time, right? For people who remember the modem days, you start, you know, you're starting off your internet or you're joining the internet and all you got was a noise. I remember the first time I heard that, I was like, How come Close Encounters of the Third Kind with aliens got wonderful melody music and we get this grating chalkboard digital sound? So for those that are currently on the live chat or not, don't forget to smash the like button. Are you completely satisfied? Sorry, I hit the microphone. I always hit the microphone when I do this with my hand. My hands are always up and around the place, aren't they? Are you like completely fulfilled and satisfied in your life or where you are? And I don't just mean work, but I mean where you're living and where you are and all of that. Or do you ever sometimes feel like you can do something different? It's within your means. It's not like, oh, I want to be a millionaire. No, and you could be a millionaire, but if I wanted to move, I could move. We could sell up and move. We could do that. We'd get a pretty good price on this house and we could find somewhere where we don't even have to take out another mortgage. We could do that. But it's proximity from my wife's work, coming and going from the school and where Raheem is, his mates and all of that. I don't think it's fair because he does suffer anxiety and stuff like that. To put him into a completely different location, whatever, that would not be fair. I know some people are going to go, yep, your kid would deal with it. No, trust me, it won't be fair on him at all. And then proximity from family, even though I don't see them, would be a deal breaker. And I hope one day I get to the point where we can just pack up and go somewhere else and not really worry about the things I've mentioned. So Weberizer says, I feel lost. What do you mean by you feel lost? Give me something to go on here, right? Give me, oh, I just realized my monitor is on ultra bright, so you're probably getting a bit of, you might not have got it because I've got a CPL non-polarizing filter on my lens over here. So Weberizer, let's just have a look for, I've just gone and done some, oh, I really hate it when I do this. Right, here we go. Weberizer says, I work 32 hours for a bossy boss in a office. Ooh. But my passion is creating things, photography, video, and web design. Okay, Weberizer, are you willing to tell us a bit more about, so you work in an office, right? What kind of office? Because office can be like literally anything. Could be an ice cream parlor and there's an office that sells ice creams. What kind of industry are we talking about? And what is, without giving away too much, what is your job title? What is your job title? Kind of thing. And if you're willing, if don't tell us the exact value, but if you account manager sales, okay, again, that's very broad. That could be selling washing machines. That could be selling air conditioning. What kind of industry are we talking about? Selling cars, right? Could be in a bank. Do you work in a bank? So if you can just tell us a bit there. And then the other thing is, without giving away too much, if let's pretend this is your salary, right? IT. Again, IT, that's quite broad. Do you mean IT as in like help desk IT? As in help desk support? Or do you mean like technical support, like, I don't know, passwords or um you know, setting up telecommunications and networking for offices and stuff like that. Again, it's quite broad. But if that was your salary, let's pretend, right, my hand is your salary. What percentage of that do you currently earn in web design? So let's just say monthly, this is your salary, is 20%. Do you currently earn 20% of what you currently get as your full-time job as web design? What's the difference? See what I mean, Weberizer? Didn't take that long, did it? Networking, right? So next time someone says to you, what do? You want to say, right, I'm an account manager in the sales department for networking, right? That's your job title, or kind of. So you got a bossy boss. Now, when you say a bossy boss, is that because you have to hit targets that you're not hitting? Is it because they like to be the boss and you must do everything I say? So it's like an authoritarian or a dictator type of boss? Or is it just a boss who sticks to the rules, but you want to just chill out? You know, you just want to come in, put your feet up, spend time talking to people in the kitchen. Just do as much as you can, but don't overly overwork yourself, you know? because a lot of people used to say I was a bossy boss, but that's because I was like, that's your role. This is what we need to do. And these are the deadlines we need to meet. Because there was always some people in the office that were like, oh, I'm just going to come in and chat to people. And I'd be like, no, you're not. You're going to work. We're here to work, right? You're going to work. When you're on break time or whatever, you can do what you want. If you want to talk to each other, have a bit of a laugh, you can do that. I love having a laugh. But when it's time to work, we work. So if you think about, you're saying your boss is bossy. Why are they bossy? And number two, if you take your full-time monthly salary, what percentage of that are you currently making with photography and web design? What are you doing there? What's the difference? I don't like other people control me. I'm different, not talking about others. Yep, that's totally true. That is totally true. But what you have to then decide is like, if you don't want other, so this is something that I remember speaking to people I used to work with, right? If you don't like being controlled, then you need to do two things. You either go somewhere else where you're no longer controlled, introvert, yep, same type of people, either go somewhere else where you're not controlled, or you work your ass off and get promoted so now you are not being controlled. It's really simple mathematical logic algorithm here. Either you do something where no one influences you, right? Because the way I see it, I'm not having a go at you, okay? If you work in a department and there will be a CEO and they manage whoever's heads of department and they manage line managers and they probably manage senior managers and then they work other employees or customer service, there's like a hierarchy, right? Everyone has to answer to someone. And what I've always said to some people, I've worked with people who were like, I'll only do what I want to do. If you tell me to work harder, it's going to cause me to have a panic attack. And I would literally say to them, then why are you here? And HR and me would argue about it, but I would literally say to them, I'm really sorry, yeah, but if someone said, like, I remember someone, right? It was at a takeaway store. It wasn't McDonald's. It wasn't KFC. What was it? I cannot remember exactly, but it was something. Was it Burger King? Might have been Burger King. So there was someone, and they were there to serve people, but they were an introvert, and they didn't like it if someone spoke to them like just they just didn't like it having to deal with people at the till. And I remember their manager, because I knew people who worked in different areas. They were like, "Then why did you come to apply for this job? Why are you here?" You know, and people will say, yeah, but if they don't like doing it, that doesn't mean you shouldn't give them a chance. I get that. But if it's a key part of the role, you got to deal with it. But I always say this, if you don't like it, you find something else, or you work your way up to a role or a position where you're no longer now in the position you didn't want to be in. That's what you got to do. Either leave or work your way up, right? And then once you're in a position of authority and you're now managing people that are like you will come with experience to treat them in a different way or work a different way. But what I will say is this, if you take your photography, video, web design, what percentage are you currently earning compared to what you're earning in your daytime job? Is it comparable? Is it something where you can work towards making that switch? Are you in a position where you can say, right, I'm earning 50% of what I'm currently getting in a job I don't like. I don't like working for this bossy boss and I don't really want to be here. I don't want to be controlled, right? But I'm doing things my own way and I'm only earning 50%. Can you survive on that 50%? Maybe you can. Maybe it might mean you can't have as many holidays. Fine. Don't. I didn't go on holiday for my last holiday was 2010, and then the last holiday I had 2023. So 13 years I did not go on holiday. But you know what? In those 13 years, I saved up a shitload of money. Well, I didn't save a shitload of money. That's wrong. But I saved up. No, I had surplus money so that I could save money and pay extra on my mortgage. Right? Save money, pay extra on mortgage. Save money, pay extra on mortgage. Right? Until I got to a point where I could clear the mortgage. Because once the mortgage was cleared, I now am no longer worried about losing the house. You know, oh no, we can't pay the bills, and oh no, we're going to have to sell up now, and oh, you know, panic stations. None of that. So WebRiser, you're earning 50%, okay? Roughly 50%. That's a good area. Could you survive on that 50%? So if there are extra things you love, like takeaways and holidays and buying clothes and renting movies and having drinks and pizzas, you can still enjoy things. But could you, if you were to make some cutbacks here and there, live within that 50%? Could you live within your 50%? Because what you got to think about is that at the moment, 100% is your full-time job. Plus the extra 50% you're probably making as a side hustle doing photography, video, web design. So technically you're 150% because you've got your full-time and the extra. If you were to leave your job and go full in on web design, it's not a 50% split. It's actually 66% and 33%. 66, 33. So you lose the full-time job. Now you're down to 33%. You got to think about the mathematics. So one thing you could do is say, could I negotiate with my work to cut my hours down? And of course it will affect your salary, but could you reduce your work time down to 70%? So rather than you doing 5 days a week, you do 4 days a week. I don't know if that's possible. And if you can negotiate that down, does that now give you more time to do what you love? Right? There's a bit of bartering to go on there. Do you know what I mean? There's a bit of bartering you got to do. WebRiser says the problem is time. If I had that 32 extra, I could do more for my own business. That's absolutely right. And that's why you need to think about, can I negotiate? So you now work 4 days, 32 hours. Okay, cool. So that is going to be 32 divided by 4. What's that? That's 8. Yeah, that's 8 hours a day, right? Could you knock it down to 3 days a week? Could you do that? Could you do that? Right? Could you? Is it negotiable? But then the other thing you have to think, yeah, you could. Well, there you go then. So if you do that, right, you go from 4 days to 3, your salary will go down to 75%. Okay? Now you have more time. But then the other thing you have to think about, right? You have to think about this, okay? Hey, Born Pixel and Old Fat Trucker, hi. Let me tell you my position, WebRiser, okay? Before I went full-time on Web Squadron and all of that and the agency, okay? I worked in the NHS. I was doing close to 70 hours a week. And that ain't traveling time. That's work. Sometimes, if you add on traveling time, you would be looking at you're looking at 78 hours a week if you add on traveling time where traveling was required. But exclude the traveling time, right? Let's not include that, okay? I'm working 70 hours a week. And you might go, well, that's quite impossible. Not really, because I would be working flat out long days, weekends as well, right? When you head a department, there is none of this 37 and a half kind of thing, right? Okay. So I'm working flat out, right? And every day was different. No day was the same. You could not predict what was going to happen each day. So I was doing that, and I had a YouTube channel where I was recording videos. Oh, I just hurt my wrist here. I just sprained it. I just sprained it like that. So I've just got this tight. Sometimes I have to take this off and actually do it like that. So I stretched the band over here, but it's getting better. So I just need to tighten a bit of pressure there to help it. So I'm working 70 hours a week, and I'm making time when I'm not working to do videos, YouTube, record, edit, publish cover art. And on top of that, I'm designing websites. Now, the amount of website work I did was reduced to like, you know, a a website I'm doing for someone might take what might now take me 2 days might take me a week, week and a half, whatever, because I was juggling things. But I was able to um, stretch my capacity. My sleep was 7 hours a day. That's kind of what I tend to do now as well. 7, maybe 7.5, 6.5. That's my average, and I'm okay with that. People are going to say, "Oh, you need a minimum 7, 8." Cut the shit. There is no real life thing that says you have to have breakfast every morning. You have to have 7 hours sleep every morning. You must do this every day and whatever. It's all crap, right? You must drink this amount of water. It's all a load of bull, right? But I was able to, in my week, do 70 to 8, close to 80 if you include traveling time. So 70 to 80 hours a week, and YouTube and website building. So when someone says time, the question you have to ask yourself is, what are you doing with your time currently? So we all wish we could have more hours in the day. I bloody would really do wish. I wish our days were like 36 hours long sometimes, the amount of stuff I want to get done each day. But either you tweak your job and you find something with less responsibility, like you said, right? Less hours or whatever you want, or you know, a better boss or whoever you want you work with, and it gives you more time. Okay, because what I will say, and I've said this to so many people, right? I've said this, and this isn't just about work. This is about your lifestyle as well. And I'm not aiming this at you, but this is about lifestyle. If you're doing 4 days a week and you wish you could have more time to do what you love, that's your problem, to make time to do what you love. I know people who say, I want to lose weight, but they're not really doing much to lose weight. I know people who say they want to save more money, but they're not really doing anything to really save money. They're still out there spending. I know people that say, oh, the cost of living and food costs, and, got to pay my rent, got to pay my mortgage. And then each year, and I'm talking about the NHS in the UK now, when they get their back pay bonus, do you know how many of them are straight away on the holiday booking websites? Hold on. Yesterday you said your cost of living, food costs, paying for uniforms, paying for this, XYZ, your mortgage and interest rates and all of this. And the minute you get a bonus, boom, let's book a holiday. Hey, Dennis. So I always say, if you want to make time, or you need more time to do what you love, you need to look at what you currently do and reprioritize, because you can make time. And the options are very clear. You either stop doing what you don't love, but then factor in, if you stop doing that, do you lose out financially, health, friendships, lifestyle? What do you lose? But what do you gain? Can you make do with like the fact you lose out on some stuff, but still survive? And can you work towards a plan where actually, even if what you want to do does not take off and does not bring in extra income, or does not suddenly change your whole life, and it might take 5 years before things really happen, could you survive for those 5 years? And if you can, then go for it. Make it happen. Because when it happens, you're going to end up better, because that's what you want to do. That's what you want to achieve. But if it takes 5 years or so, when I left the NHS, right, when I left, my salary went from like that to like that. For 2 months, nearly 2 months, right? No income. No income. Zilch. Holy shit. I panicked a little bit as well, but then I looked at the long game, right? It took 1 year. Just over 1 year. I mean, it wasn't exactly 1 year. It wasn't under, but it was just over 1 year before I was now earning what I was before per month or annually, right? So for 1 year, my salary went like that. I mean, I'm going to make this clear now. It went like that, right? And then it went like that. And then then there was a bit of a good upsurge. And then it kind of was like, annually, right? We got there. Now I'm earning double monthly and whatever the way I do things. And by the way, I do not just make income from the web design. That makes up a portion or what I do. I don't like to do recurring business models with web design hosting. I can't be asked with recurring income like that. I really can't be asked with hosting shit. Not that it's a bad thing, but I just can't be bothered with it. So I've got my web design. YouTube, you do not make a lot of money. Let me be very clear. You do not make a lot. And 2 months ago, and I know a lot of creative influencers who have seen this affect them too. The amount you earn has gone down massively. I don't know what's happening in the YouTube world at the minute. So I have a bit there as well. It's all down to my other investments and other things I do as well outside of work. But what I did is I set a plan in motion. So I went from zilch to getting back to where I was to now being double. I'm doing okay. But you got to go through the pain. You got to go through the hurt. So if you're working and doing anything you don't enjoy, can you reduce it and do what you love? Can you leave it and do what you love? Can you survive on what you lose out on? And I don't just mean money. You could maybe do so many big changes that you lose friends. You're not eating the same food you were eating all before. You're not going on as many holidays. It could affect your relationships. But can you grit your teeth, get through it, and eventually get to where you want to be? And if you don't get to where you want to be, you got to remember, we have to risk assess. We have to be prudent. We have to be realistic. We're not all going to achieve our dreams and goals. Life is not perfect. But if you don't, and you always stay here now, are you going to be happier than where you were before? Because if you're not happy where you are now, even though you may lose a bit of income or whatever, if that means you are less stressed, that is better than that. That's the thing you really got to factor in. I was shit fucking mad and pissed off working in the NHS. I loved what I do, but I was getting so angry with the sloppiness of other people or departments or where the focus was. You work yourself to the bone. You bleed and sweat and everything. But it doesn't matter because of what other people are doing. So I put myself in a happier place. And even though for that 1 year, I mean, just work it out, right? That's where I was. And now I'm down here and it took a year to get back. Just work out the amount of loss of income. Imagine that's like a diagonal line, right? That's a diagonal line. Everything above the line here, right? There's a diagonal line. This is my earnings, right? This bottom bit, the top bit of that triangle, right? That's what I lost out on. Big time. But I was happier. I was busting a gut for me, doing what I want to do, what I love. Right, let's just stick into the comments now. Old Fat Trucker says, I own 2 mid-sized companies, very much involved, drive truck for, well, you do. You are the old fat trucker, my mate. Time management is key if you want to be a business owner. Absolutely. Time management, absolutely. Born Pixel just rejected 2 projects. Do you know what, mate? I'm glad you did that. Someone contacted me last night, a plugin, and it's a proper plugin company. They wanted me to do a video. I told them my price. They came back with like, that's not a good return of investment. I didn't even bother replying to them. I thought, whatever. You came to me. You came to me. I am not going to undervalue myself just because you don't want to pay or whatever, or you have a set budget. So if people come to you and say, I want a website, but I can only pay this, if that does not fit within your business model, stand firm. Do not undervalue yourself. Now, can I just stress what Old Fat Trucker said here? And I'm working my way through the comments. I do exactly the same where I schedule the time when I'm going to do stuff with my son, with my family, going out shopping. I even schedule in when I'm going to exercise. I schedule everything in. I did a video about a month ago, I think it was, on time management and how I use Notion, not just to schedule in my work, my weekly tasks, what I'm doing for the next 4 months. I start scheduling things in, my family, my weights, my exercise. I even schedule in what I'm going to eat so I can keep a track of, right, how many calories am I going to probably end the day with or whatever, roughly, approximately. I schedule everything to the nth degree. Some people ain't going to like that because they find it like it's too controlling. But you know what? If you want to take control of your life, get to it. Okay, yeah. Dennis says, my girlfriend lost job this month. I tried twice to leave my job. Didn't work out. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Dennis. That's not good. WebRiser says, I think I can learn web design. I think I can also learn video. I think I can learn and make money with that too. You say you think you can learn. So is it that you're not there yet? So where are you in your journey? You're saying, I think I can. That is there's hesitation there. I think I can. What you're doing is setting up a buffer to say, I might not make it, so I think I can, but you know what? I'm not promising anything. What you need to do is change your mindset to, I will create videos, not I will learn. I will learn just means I'll learn and then I'll decide what I'm going to do. And I'll either get it or I won't get it. No, you are not going to think you can. You are not going to learn. You are going to do. You are going to do web design. You are going to do videos. You are going to do wedding videos, right? Corporate headshots, photography. You're going to do it. You're going to make it happen. You are, after this video or right now, going to grab a bit of paper and you're going to say, this is where I want to get to. So what do I need to do? Forget tomorrow. Forget next week. You're not going to make it in a month. In the next 12 months, where do I want to be? So September, we're already halfway. Let's scratch that off. Well, we're past halfway. It's 25th now. October, what am I going to do? November, what am I going to do? December, what am I going to do? What am I going to work to? Where do I want to be come September 2026? Am I going to be in a position where I can leave my job? And if I can't leave my job, the fact that I'm probably going to be making more money doing something I love and enjoy, that will make you happier. Do you get what I mean? You dig? Off that tracker, the other key advice I can give others is just because you start making income doesn't mean you can sit back. Absolutely. The minute you are no longer now reliant on guaranteed income, you have to work harder. Some people in my family still do not understand that if I am not visiting you or I'm not calling you up or I'm not spending longer at your house or visiting, is because every second counts. And I know that when I'm watching Netflix or Disney Plus or a movie or a TV show or reading a book or watching a YouTube video, I know that I'm not technically earning, but I'm learning or I'm enjoying myself. And even though when you're enjoying yourself, when you're watching Stranger Things or something, right? Or the Avengers, whatever you're watching, Star Wars, right? I know that when I'm enjoying myself, I feel happy. So happiness doesn't have to be just based on what you earn. It can be based on what you're doing or even not doing. Just sat there, looking at the mountains, listening to the rain. Just sat there, lying down, resting. If that makes you happy, you're enjoying yourself. But when you are somewhere, someone's house, you've gone to a function, you've gone to somewhere, a meeting, but you didn't really want to be there, no matter how much you try to convince yourself, you are not happy because you were there to make someone else happy. And when you're doing it for someone else, you will regret it. You will look back and go, I could have been watching a TV show, and it sounds really lame, doesn't it? Rather than visiting family members, I would rather be watching a TV show. But you know what? If it makes you happy, that is better. Because when you're happy, you come away feeling more energized, rejuvenated, relaxed, more productive. But when you come back from somewhere, anywhere, doing anything where you were not relaxed, it stays with you, it lingers in your mind, and then suddenly you got to work, and you're like, oh God, I've got to work now. Oh, I've got a meeting. Oh, I've got to do X, Y, Z. It will infect what you love doing. So don't undervalue your time to make other people happy. That's what I want to say. Gary's right. Never let the client dictate the costs. Palav, how you doing? Good to see you. Hicham says, would love you to do a tutorial on GeoDirectory. Can hardly find. The thing is about Hicham, if you really want me to do it, commission me, because I don't like GeoDirectory. I have done directory websites. I've used a My Listing one. I think I've done 3 videos on My Listing directory. Haven't done one. Ooh, a good year and a half, maybe even longer than that now. Could be 2 years, year and a half, I think. But My Listing, type that, My Listing, one word, in our YouTube channel, and you should find about 3, maybe 4, definitely 3 videos. You should find them. But GeoDirectory, I didn't like it, and quite frankly, see, look, here's this is kind of connected to what I'm saying. I know if I did a video, Hitcham, it would make you happy. But what about me? I just gave up my time to do a video to make you happy, but I'm not fully happy, and I will stress myself out to make you happy. So what do I get out of it? I might get some views. So what? Views don't mean much, to be honest, right? Views don't mean a heck of a lot these days on YouTube. Trust me. Webriser, one day I'm working on corporate photography, business ideas. Yeah, look, you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you need to do. But the reason why you feel lost is because I don't think you've got a proper action plan. Forget your boss. That's your daytime job. You know that from this time to this time, you're at work. Okay, that's you can't do fuck all there, right? You are tied to the job, to your boss, whatever, all right? So what about the time before and the time afterwards? What's your plan? Go and use Notion, all right? Palav, can you please tell how to check fluid responsiveness in Chrome? Well, you just check it on a browser and you resize the browser and you'll see it. So if you've added in font clamp, right? And then you go and purge your cache and regenerate or whatever page builder you're using, you just open the browser. I mean, there's extensions. You know, there's Responsinator, there's Responsively app, there's loads of websites out there, there's extensions and stuff. You just open a browser and you just drag it and just drag the edge of the browser and you'll see what happens as you... Or you just use the breakpoints and you'll see it. Hoji. Is it Hoji from Indonesia? Did I get that right? It's not Joe, is it? Is it Joe? Is it Joe? Joji? Hoji? OG? OJ? Joj? I'm not sure now. You'll have to help me out here. From Indonesia. So Hicham says, what would you recommend? Well, you could do CrocoBlock. You could use My Listing. You could use the listing theme. There's loads of stuff you could do. There's so many variables there, right? Like Born Pixel. I don't think we would pronounce pixel any other way. Now, if it was data, do you say data or data? I say data, but a lot of people in America say data. Palav, font automatically decreases when bar is slided, means it's fluid responsive. Yeah, I mean, fonts automatically decrease when bar is slided. Which bar do you mean? Which bar do you mean? I mean, font clamp should handle that. Because if you're decreasing the space that the font occupies, so if you've got a fixed width, right, and then something else is going to grow or move, it will shrink for you. But yeah, um, inspect element bottom bar. Inspect element bottom bar. I think you've lost me here. Wait, what you're looking at? Hicham says you need to start a school community. I just like the way. The thing is, though, let me tell you why I don't do a school community, right? Because we've got the YouTube channel, we've got the Facebook group, I have elemental courses and stuff. If I start a community, I just feel like that's another thing I'm going to have to handle and manage. And I just, and not everyone likes that kind of thing or doing things as well. It's bad enough, right? When you've got, I collaborate with businesses, right? And a lot of them like to use Slack. So I've got the YouTube comments, Facebook comments, and the Facebook group. So there's comments and stuff to moderate there. Twitter comments, LinkedIn comments, YouTube comments I mentioned. Um, oh, my brain's gone blank now. My brain has gone blank. Oh, Slack and Slack stuff, right? And um I was helping out on the WordPress community as well, where I was giving up my time to help out with stuff. And then again, there was Slack messages there. And after a while, it's just like, you are stretching yourself thin. Do you know what I mean? And I just like get like, how much more can I give? How much more can I get involved in? So Palav, you're talking about the sidebar. I don't know why I'm still not getting it. Fonts automatically decrease when a bar is slid. Technically, right, when the sidebar grows or because do you mean based on the width of the sidebar? Because technically it should shrink anyway, I think. Cheers, Kangas. Thank you. I do. I think I give away too much as it is. All that tracker, I just want to know how much of an upcharge do you invoice customers for annoying questions? Oh, all fat tracker. So I actually do apply a rate of 10 to 15% if I feel like I need to put more effort in to either working with the client or just dealing with the crap I know I'm going to get. When you have the very first like few email exchanges or a discovery call, like a video call, right? You can pretty much gauge how either interested, invested, or how difficult this client could be. So I always do add on a 10 to 15% increase. They don't need to know about it, but it's the increase I will add on to the price because when they are pushing me and I'm getting pissed off, sometimes I kind of go, look, don't worry, you are making a bit more. So, you know, be careful, but let's just see how we go. Born Pixel says, I had a meeting 2 minutes ago. Is that client he missed again? WTH? I had a meeting. What the hell is that client? Oh, right. But yeah. So just because when you increase it, all of a sudden that extra bit feels a little bit okay. But then I also drop into clients say, look, if however feel like the relationship's not working, you need to let me know. Then I will refund some of your deposit based on what I have already done or not done. But likewise, it can work the other way. We need to make sure that we're working really well together. You know, no one wants to be working with anyone because they feel they're forced into it. Because at the end of the day, you're the one employing me in a way, but I'm also the one providing the work. So it's a partnership. You don't use the word employing, by the way, because then that gives them ownership over you. Be careful what you say and how you word it. So Palav says, when the sidebar width is decreased and fonts and layouts decrease smoothly instead of sudden change, does this mean the fluid responsive are working correctly? It depends on how you built it, but technically it should shrink. However, it does depend on how you built. So if it's going to be basing it on the width of like your full, sorry, not the page width, but you know, yeah, the page width, it might not responsively shrink. So you're going to have to test it out a bit. Q, I'm glad you like the lives. I mean, in the live chats is where I can be a lot more me. This is the real me, right? There's no pretend bullshit. I don't pretend when I do videos anyway, but I am more restricted because someone who doesn't know me might be watching a video and you don't want to start effing and blinding because that's not fair on them. Q says, I heard in popular WordPress chat that British clients, as literally OP says, not very generous. How true is this? Yeah, there is some truth in that. So I'll tell you what the problem is, okay? British clients can be very particular about what they want and how much they're willing to pay for it. British clients do sometimes want to go for the cheapest option without appreciating maybe the value you're going to get with paying more. And also, they are very much bought into the whole Fiverr Upwork market, low prices. Also, the UK market gets battered every day with sponsored adverts going, we'll build your website for £50. Or we'll build your website for free and all you got to do is pay us £30 a month. Like, what? Kind of thing, right? There's loads of them floating around. So when someone comes along, if you are not famous or people don't know you, you're having to almost justify and convince them why they need to pay more. So there is some truth in that. But there's always a but here, right? You will find that a lot of British clients that fit that stereotype that I just explained, a lot of them are not successful businesses. A lot of them are still starting off early, or a lot of them have been wheeling and dealing however they can to get by and do what they need to do. And they may be successful, they may have made loads of money, but they've always, where can I scrimp and all that? Where can I pay less tax? Where can I do this? Where can I use a bit of skullduggery if I have to? British clients that are established businesses or big businesses, or people that value the time and effort that skilled people bring, will pay more. So British businesses that understand, the fact that if I employ this person here to set my network up in my office for £100, they will probably do it. But this person over here that would charge 10,000 for the same thing, I'm probably going to go for the 10,000 because you know what? Why are they so much lower? Number one. And number two, this one looks like they know a bit more for the same thing, the way they've explained it and what they're going to do, the trust, the authenticity. So British clients will pay more, but it depends on the type of business, all right? Not how long they've been a business, but the type of business and the business owner's mindset. Born Pixel, dude, you don't know about India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. I mean, look, right, okay. I know enough to say that you're probably going to pay a heck of a lot less. But again, I think internationally, you will have businesses in every country who will pay more where the business understands the value of paying more and what they get and who they're working with. The reputation, the word of mouth, the evidence. Businesses everywhere, right? Like, so a lot of people say, if you hire someone from Thailand, they'll build a website for really low price. Yeah, that's true. But you could also go and find someone in Thailand who charges $5,000 because they're that damn good in what they do. And they don't just build a website, they build a solution. They're going to build something that's going to hit your goals. They're going to understand your funnel or your workflow. They're going to understand how to structure your page and all of that, not just a template or a turnkey solution. That's the difference that you're going to get. Hey, Donnell, how are you doing? Know the value and have the budget. Absolutely. a lot of businesses, normally big businesses, even public health, not public health, public office like council or whatever, right? Even NHS health, they will have a set budget, right? They may have decided, right, we are going to revamp our website and our budget is, say, £50,000. That's our budget for consultation, whatever's right, employing someone or hiring someone, and it might be a 3-year plan, or I don't know, right? £50,000. When someone comes along and says, I'll build your website for £100, they're not going to give you a second look. Some people might go, yeah, but £50,000 and he'll do it for 100. They're quite good. And they've built 500 websites on Fiverr. They've got tons of 5-star reviews. Why are you not going with them? Because they want the dope. They want good shit. They want something that's going to work, be reliable, and the person who builds it, they want to know that they can go back to them and work with them later on as well. They know that when you come to do procurement, or when you need to get equipment, or you need to hire someone, they will know from experience and life lessons that if you hire someone who says, hey, I'll project manage your office and I'll do it for £100 a week, they will get something that is much more inferior than to someone who charges £1,000 a day. And you might laugh at that, but it's the truth. When you've worked in the corporate world or you've worked with businesses, they will value. I said that wrong. They will appreciate why you cost more. But some businesses, no matter where they are in the world, the ones that don't appreciate or undervalue time and effort, they will want to pay pittance. And they are the ones who will scope creep. Not only do they want to pay you as least as possible, but they want to milk it. They want to be, change this, change that. Oh, redo the homepage. Oh, I've just had an idea. Can we change the color? Remember that keyword I told you? I want to use a different keyword. Why am I not on page 1 on Google at the moment? Where are you? Look, here are the images. I haven't got any images. Can you make the text up for me? They're the kind of clients I don't want to work with. Right. Let's get back onto what is coming through over here. Done out selling products that don't come back to customers that do. Yep. Super related. Old fat trucker. They want to work with a business, not someone running up hobby and make. Exactly. Exactly. Right? I know, and I've been there, right, where some people make a mistake and they go and hire the cheapest option. Let me tell you, right? So I used to work in Leicester City Council, right? And this still happens now. Still happens now. And it was the building surveyors department. And what they would do is maybe they need to revamp a school. Maybe they need to redo an education center or fix a bridge or something, whatever, okay? A road or a park, right? And then they would decide on roughly what they think they need doing. And then they would say, we are now open for bidders, a contract tender, okay? Tender to contract. So companies would bid and they would write like a 30-page document, cost it up, what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, when they're going to do it. I can tell you now as a matter of fact, I worked in that department from December, let me get this right, December 1999 until I think it was February 2002. So just over 2 years, right? Something like that. February 2002. Because the later part of 2002 is when I went into the NHS, right? Every time they put that out, you'd always get like 5 or 6 companies bidding. Normally similar companies. These were building contractors and companies, right? Very well known in Leicestershire, these were as well. Very, very well known. Every time they got the tender contract, 30, 40 pages worth of detailed drawings, diagrams, whatever, right? Do you know what they did? Do you know what they did? They went to the last page and looked at what the cost was. And if they liked the cost, well, it was the cheapest, then they looked at the detail and then they made their decision. And the department I worked in, for those 2 years, nearly every company they ended up picking, they were fucking up left, right, center. Things weren't done on time. The wrong materials. Things weren't as what they thought they would get based on the contract or the tender. There were unforeseen costs. Because they behaved, they weren't businesses. In the public office, the council, they weren't business. None of those people were businesses. They were people that were trained up to be building surveyors or whatever, gone to university, whatever. Some of them might have worked on the job, but they were never, none of them were businesses. None of them. So they fit the small business mindset. What can I get done for as cheap as possible? But when I moved into the NHS, now we're working with more business-minded people. And I'm not going to say they got things right. There's a lot of wastage. There's a lot of wasted money, procurement, buying, ordering stuff that they're overpaying the odds and they're not really getting anything better. But they looked at and assessed more of what they're getting and who they're working with. And that is the bigger business. They're the ones you want to be either targeting or trying to work with. But the people who use Fiverr and Upwork, and you might disagree with me on this, but the bulk of the clients that use Fiverr and Upwork for web design want it as cheap as possible. And they will never value your time and your effort. They just won't value what you do because they don't care about you at all, I think. Hold on, I've just got to double check something. I've just realized I've just done something wrong here. I mean, I'm still going live, but my live chat might... It's the live chat replay, so whenever you do a live chat, it takes about 24 hours, and then the live chat replay, yeah, it's okay, it's on. So even though I can read your comments, I need to make sure that when the video is then on the channel, it doesn't, like, hide the comments. Because I don't like it when you watch a replay of a live chat and the person is talking in reply to a comment, but the live chat replay of the chat has disappeared and it's no longer there, and you sort of go, I don't know what he's talking about. Old Fat Trucker says, you need to position yourself that the business needs to sell themselves to you and you are in a position of decide. Yeah, well done. That's kind of it, my friend. So I get approached quite a bit for collaboration on videos or stuff here and there. And I kind of let them know what my costs are or any other details. And I don't give two shits whether they come back to me. I do not treat them as, oh, I really want that job. I really want to build that website. I really want to do a video for you because that's going to be worth X, Y, and Z. And I can get a McDonald's takeaway tonight and loads more Pepsi Max. No, I'm not thinking like that. Okay? Because I've got people, right, who've contacted me and they've said they will pay. They know what my rate is and they will pay. And then I go back to them and I say, so the plugin that you want me to look at and do a video, does it have I'm not going to tell you everything I asked for, but I have a quite strict list. If they fail on those things, I go, I'm not interested. No. I'm not going to do something and mislead or misrepresent the audience or whatever. I don't care what kind of discount, affiliate code, or coupon you're giving. I'm not interested. I have my integrity and things I want to know. And so I put the onus on them. Now, so it works. So either they have to pay me. So if they're not going to pay me the rate I've said, I don't want to know. Even if they want to pay me, if there's anything I feel or suspect that I feel like affects my integrity or the valuableness of what they're claiming this plugin can do or whatever, or what the aim of the video or whatever is, I don't want to know. I am not going to taint my reputation and what I stand for on this channel and what I mean to you and what you all mean to me for extra money. I said it in a video 2 months ago. A very big SEO company offered me $9,000 a month for 6 months. A 6-month contract that would have worked out to be, what is that? 9 times 6. Oh, 54. I had to think about that then. No. 9 times 6. Yeah, 54. $54,000. You got to pay tax, but $54,000. 6-month contract, paid up front. But I said no, because it would have meant I had to give up a big chunk of my time to do the work. Now, the cost, what they were going to pay me, more than covered the time I'd be giving them. So I'm quids in. This is gravy. I'm making money here. Brilliant. But it would mean that I would lose out on doing what I love, what I want to do. And you know what? I don't care what you're paying. I don't want to know. And they were not happy with me. And I was like, find someone else. You know, I don't care. Literally, I was like, look, it's not about, you could double, but I am not going to give up what I love. And that's how we started off today's YouTube channel, a live chat, right? What are you doing? But what do you want to do that you love? You know, is the income you're making here worth losing out on what you love? All That Tracker says he tells customers when they call trying to hire his company, that he's pretty yeah, do you know what? Okay, I'll be honest, right? I've had people, they want to work with me, and I start to get alarm bells and red flags, like their attitude ain't right. They the work they're asking for is all over the place. I can start to see scope creep problems, or the personality doesn't click. So you know what I do? I set my price at double. I literally double up. And if they still want to pay, I then go, right, is it still worth it? So do I take it or not? Is it worth it? And if they go, that's way too much, I don't care. I treat every interest, solicited email, whatever you want to call them, notification, DM, everything, every phone call, everything that comes through to me, I treat like a dead horse. It's dead. It ain't going anywhere. It's a dead project. It ain't happening. And if it happens, great. But I don't go chasing for work. I don't care about that. I am not, because the minute you chase and they know you're chasing, or they detect that, oh, I didn't ask him to contact me, but he's asked me, I've got him where I want now. I know he wants work. He came chasing. I'm gonna, okay, I will let you design my website, but we're gonna have to halve the cost. What you need to do is stand firm, because the fact they came back to you means they obviously are interested a little bit. Stand firm. Do not reduce your value. Stay there. JJ, are you planning to create some video about WebGL in WordPress? Nope, I'm not. No intention at the moment, unless you're going to commission me to do that. If you commission me, then I'll have a look, weigh it up, and do it. You could commission me to dig deeper, and then if I decide, yeah, I do like it, I've got an idea what to do, then you commission me for the video. But a lot of people don't ever come back to commission. Hey, Kev MC, afternoon, how you doing? What have I missed? Oh, you've missed so much. So much. I don't know. I think today's live chat, I started off talking about doing what you love. No, I started off talking about, do you feel like you're not achieving what you really want to achieve in life because something's holding you back? I talked about how you have to make changes to do what you love. And I went on a bit of a rant about how you gotta, some clients in Britain and internationally will always pay low because their mindset is not in what I call the appreciating value and effort. Whereas big businesses, And it could be a small business as well. I don't want to say it's only big businesses, but businesses that value effort and time are willing to pay more. Hicham says, elaborate on that, please. Commission me. Hey, elaborate on that. Commission me. Elaborate on that. What? You're asking Joji to elaborate? Born Pixel says, does it have a free plan? Actually, that is actually very true, Born Pixel. So I've had companies come to me and they want me to do a video about their plugin. And the plugin's not bad. You know, it might be about AI. It might be about security of your website. It might be about helping you do stuff with WooCommerce or something. But I quickly detect that it's a premium plugin because I follow the link. And then I go back and I say, is there a free version? And sometimes they come back going, no, there's no free version. And I'm like, right, so why would I promote your plugin? Oh, don't worry. We'll give you a free copy. I don't care about the free copy. I am not going to tell any of you, go and use that plugin that you have to pay for. What I want to do is say, you're going to get a lot of value out of the free version. And I have to be satisfied you will get value. If I think you're going to get value, then I'll say, and if you want more, you can get the premium version. There's a link. It is a non-affiliate commission link, right? Non-affiliated. There's a link in there for you if you want to go and upgrade because you get some extra stuff. But I am not going to tell you, go and use that plugin. But oh, it's not free. So yeah, take my word for it and go and buy it. No, too many people do that. And I don't like that. You know, it's not the way I shouldn't even say I don't like it because whatever anyone else does is up to them. But it just doesn't fit my integrity. I mean, I do. I mean, look, I'm not going to lie. Obviously, I promote Elementor because I use it. I promote code snippets because I use it. I promote malware and blog vault because I use them and I like them a lot. But that's about it. I think that's about it, isn't it? I don't do Cloudways because I don't use it. I don't do Kinsta. Kinsta did sponsor some videos. And I was like, fine, but all I'm going to say is the video is sponsored by Kinsta, but the video ain't about Kinsta, right? But I don't, you know, I could go on and on about how Hostinger. Do you know how many times Hostinger have approached me? And I'm like, nah. Number one, I don't use you. Number two, I don't really like it either. So, Gary says, I just want people to give me lots of money for no apparent reason. Yeah, I think we can all agree with that. Joji is currently learning how to implement WebGL. Look, have you asked ChatGPT to give you a step-by-step guide on how to learn and implement WebGL for Bricks Builder? You may be surprised. Go and ask ChatGPT or Grok Free. Go and ask them. You may be pleasantly surprised, you know, step-by-step. Tell it you want it step-by-step and explain to me as if I am 10 years old. So it keeps it nice and simple. Kev, actually mentioning AI, a chat about AI would be good. Is it just me? The thing is, though, it depends on what are you going to use AI for. And it is a good idea for a chat, and maybe tomorrow I'll do that in the live chat. It's very much about what are you going to use AI for? And does it complement what you already do? If you're going to use AI to cheat a little bit, because you want to make a business or an industry out of it, that's where you're going to get caught out. Grok is good, isn't it, Gary? Grok is pleasantly quite good. When ChatGPT fails a bit, I jump into Grok. And it's pretty decent. Hicham, which programming language do you recommend for learning to build WordPress websites? Olfat Trucker, you know, he's right, PHP, Java. I mean, to be honest, HTML, CSS, I think will serve you very well. JavaScript, stuff like that, you can do. But what you got to think about here, Cham, is you're asking the same question in the same way people would have said 5 years ago. 5 years ago, people would have had that exact same question. And the answers you're going to see here is the same answers you're going to get 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. You need to change your question. And in fact, the answer lies in the question. The answer is, what can I learn with ChatGPT in terms of programming languages? You can learn what you need to know using ChatGPT step by step. I've got a CSS course. You could join the course and learn about CSS because it's built to work alongside Elementor and all of that, but you could apply it to other page builders too. So just to say, what programming language do I need? Go and ask ChatGPT, or I'll help you out. Just go and say, help me understand HTML and CSS. In fact, decide on what page builder you're using. So if you're using WordPress, are you trying to build a WordPress website from scratch? Kind of thing. So are you or are you not going to use WordPress? Are you going to use a page builder? Are you going to use a theme, a template? What are you going to use? And get ChatGPT to work with you. And really what you want to be doing is, right, so you're using bricks. So really what you want to be doing is saying, here's my page. What you do is you create your page, you publish it, you go to preview or live, you download the page source. So now you've got that. You import that into ChatGPT and you say, right, here's my page. What I want to do is make my heading do X, Y, Z. You want it to do something that Bricks does not currently let you do in the settings. Maybe there's a plugin out there, Ultimate Bricks add-on or something, and they do something, but you don't want to buy the plugin. So what you do is you find a demo, you right-click it, right? You import the page sources and you go, right, here's my page. Here's a function. How could I do that using Bricks Builder? What HTML or CSS or JavaScript or code snippet, PHP will I need? And it will help you, and you learn from that. We've moved away from, right, I need to go and download the Dummy's Guide to C++, and you sit there going through these exercises, and you know what? The exercises are super shit because they're just exercises, and they don't always relate to one another, and at the end of the day, what have you got? Yay, look at this, I've got this page I designed. The Dummy's Guide to CSS. Again, you're just going to learn piecemeal bits and pieces. You can now take what you build and then go, I want to do a bit more. I wanted it to do an animation, but there's no setting. I wanted it to kind of look different, but I can't hack into it. You can get ChatGPT to help you out with that. So your question about what kind of programming language I need to use, that's the wrong question. What you really want to be asking is, what have I got and how do I do X, Y, Z? And you will learn along the way doing that. I agree with Kev. My use of AI is refining my code or CSS solutions. I still use it for that as well. Double checking, well, could I do X, Y, Z? Will it work? And obviously, as you know, code snippets. Yep, old fat trucker, you're right. I mean, it's like, to be a very good WordPress developer, you don't need to learn any languages. You just use AI to help yourself out. Now, Q, you say AI CSS solutions are terrible, but I would say, I think that comes down to what is the question you're asking. I wonder about maybe, like, I do this all the time. I've got a page, I download the page source, and I import it, and I go, right, can you see that heading? Can you see that text that has the class name, blah, 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 whatever, right? It currently does this. I want it to do this instead. And it helps me out. And sometimes you do have to tweak it. It overdoes stuff or it doesn't quite fully understand. So you tweak it. But I always get there. If it means I have to spend 3 hours getting to the end of what I wanted, I will spend 3 hours. So don't get frustrated. Spend the time and do it. Um, right. I mean, I would say Born Pixel. So Old Fat Trucker slightly disagrees with you, but I would say you need basic understanding. I think that's long gone out the door. I can tell you now, right? I've mentored some people who are massively new to WordPress, let alone coding. Right? They are well and truly far away from coding, but they are now able to custom code. I had someone I mentored on the My Listing website, okay? And they wanted to do something the My Listing solution did not do. So I got some code for them. And you know what? They then wanted to do something different in the same reins or veins of what we had, but they wanted to do something different. And you know what? They used AI, ChatGPT, and they worked it through and got something different. They know fuck all about coding. We're in a new age now. I can, if I want, right, take a photo of something, like on my phone, because you got ChatGPT on the phone, upload it and say, what's this? How do I fix this? What do you think? Can I get a replacement? Can you explain to me if this is good or bad? Boom. I either get an answer, I get a video, I get a guide, I get a link to Amazon to get the exact replacement I needed. We're in a new age now. And I think that you don't have to spend time, really. Look, when I was about to make the move to go full time in web design, right? So in 2020, it was just drumming away in my head. Even though I'm using WordPress, even though I'm using Elementor and I'm pretty good on my HTML and my CSS and all right on my JavaScript, I thought, maybe I need to go and learn C++, programming and all this shit. So I went and got a couple of books. They're not here now. They're no longer there, but they were there. And I was working through them and I was like, fuck, this is fucking boring. This is boring shit. So I thought, fuck this. Just stick on to WordPress Elementor. But even then, I was spending loads of time when I really wanted to tweak something, like you're going onto Reddit, Experts Exchange, this forum, that forum, videos, and you're trying to create something, but you're left, right, center, to and fro, waste time, not sure, just trying to improve things. And then ChatGPT came out. And in 2023, my life changed big time. Go and look at the videos I put out in 2023. The amount of code snippet videos I was putting out went like that. Boom. 2024, we carried it on. 2025, I'm blowing my own trumpet now, but I've put out some kick-ass code snippets in 2025. We're in a new age now. Completely new place. Absolutely, old fat trucker. Gone are the days looking through books. I mean, AI sometimes does surprise you, like all the time with, like, it does stuff and you go, what? Like, where did this come from? How did I not know this? Absolutely, Kev. I mean, for me, ChatGPT is like, it's like your walking library, right? It's literally like, you know, when you watch some movies and they have like a digital aid. What book do you want? And it finds the book for you. What do you want to learn today? You know, like like Star Trek, whatever, or Matrix. Isn't it like the Matrix? Matrix, teach me how to fly a helicopter and all of that, right? I mean, it's going to be a bit complicated to learn how to fly a helicopter and take quite a while, and there'll be a bit of time and effort. But we are in that kind of age, aren't we? You know, I mean, it's crazy, okay? It is crazy, right? You could take a photograph of your ingredients on a table, right? And say, ChatGPT, do you understand what's in my picture? And it should identify if it gets it wrong, correct, and go, right, tell me what I could cook that won't take more than 10 minutes prep time, using few additional things if I have to, but nothing more I have to buy, just using what I've got. And it will probably, and you can say, tell me 5 things. And then you go and go, right, you know what? I like the sound of that. Let's go for that. Like, what? Completely different age of living. I know, Gary. And Gary, I still haven't looked at it. Yesterday I got tied up with some stuff, and then today I got tied up with some other stuff. Hopefully tomorrow I will have a look at that one, and I'll get back to you if I'm unsure about that. Right, everyone, I am now going to jump off. Mainly because my son will be home soon, and we've been live for 1 hour 20. It's been good. I hope you like, subscribe, share, and follow. If you've not signed up and joined our YouTube channel, you really should, because we've got the exclusive web designer reset video. And eventually, when I do rebuild the Elementor website course using version 4, atomic component elements and all of that, that entire new course will only be available on YouTube for members. I'm changing the way I do things going forward. I hope a lot of the advice hit home. I don't like to personalize things. I don't like to have a go or say something out of turn. But I hope it kind of hits home a little bit. And at the end of the day, it's just my opinion. And who the hell am I? Well, I'm Imran from Web Squadron, and I might be live tomorrow. See you soon.